Hey, welcome to another episode of the Governese Show, where we teach you and train you how to speak the language of government contracting. And today we have an exciting show for you. We're going to teach you and train you on what is capture management, or the art of winning government contract. We're going to talk about the role of a capture manager. We're going to show you the difference between capture management and proposal management. We're going to share with you what's the blue team, the red team, and the green team. We're going to share you the process, and we're going to give you a flow chart of the capture management process itself. We're going to share with you software that you can use to manage the capture process. And then we're going to talk about the difference between a salesperson or a BD person and a capture manager. And we'll look at some other great things. So just stay tuned. I'll see you on the inside. Hey, Crystal. Hey. It's time again for another episode of Governese. So glad to have you here with me.
Yes. It's good to be back. As always, I thoroughly enjoy our engagements here.
I know. I love talking about government contracting, especially from our webcast here, talking about Governese and teaching people how to speak the language of government contracting.
Yes.
So today we're going to be talking about our word for the day. For our Governese word for the day is capture manager or capture management. Mm-hmm. So we're going to look at a few different things around the topic of what is a capture manager and capture management itself, the process of capture management. Now, what has your experience been around capture management?
Well, I am a proud graduate of the capture manager / management program of the Government Contractors Association. I achieved that accomplishment back in 2016, I believe it was. Capture management requires knowledge, time, and dedication. It's something that as a small business and as a business period, there needs to be a person dedicated to doing that work, because identifying contracts and solicitations is, again, it's time intensive. So, as small business owners, a lot of us have been in a position where we've had to do the capture management and a whole lot of other things. But there is a need when scaling a business to identify a capture manager and put a capture management team in place in order to, be successful. So I think this is going to be a great episode that a lot of small business owners in the government space will be able to take a lot of nuggets away from.
Yeah, absolutely. So as a business owner, you are the capture manager. If you're a solopreneur, or if you have a small team and you as a business owner, you're the one who's doing business development or sales for your company, you are the capture manager. So, well, let's dive in. So diving in, I'm going to start off by just looking at the different roles of capture management and how the world currently sees it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to LinkedIn. And I'm going to share my screen here for those of you who's joining us online. Great. If you can see the webcast, if you're on audio, hey, join us anyway, because you'll be able to follow us as well through the audio section here. So I am on LinkedIn, and I'm going to go to the search up here, and I'm going to put in here capture manager. And I'm going to look for this here. I'm going to look for this here in terms of people. So let's look under people. So under people, there is 8,500 people that have the word capture manager as their title. So you can see here, you got a few people here. Michael Gaines, he's a capture manager. Robert Thomas, he's a capture manager at ProSync. And then you got Aaron, capture manager. So there's about 8,500 people with the title or the role of a capture manager. Mm-hmm. As a business owner, obviously you are a capture manager. You just don't know that maybe that's your title.
Right.
In the government contracting world, your role as a business development person or salesperson, you are a capture manager. So it's important to know what a capture manager does for the company. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do do a little change here. I'm going to put in capture management instead. So capture manager, there's 8,500, and capture manager, there's 8,500. Capture management, there's 12,000. So because this industry is starting to be defined, like project manager, right? Like back in the 40s, 50s, before Project Management Institute became around or started, people were doing project management. They just were not certified as a project manager or PMP. Now, and in a second, I want to kind of share, ask you to share a little about as a PMP, share that process a little bit. But let's talk through capture management in a second, and we'll correlate that back to the project management process as well. So capture managers, there's different people that does this here out there for profession as a career. Many of them work for other companies, and some of them are their own, person for their own companies. So they do capture management for their own company. So different people with the title capture management. Like Michael Sherman, he is VP of Capture Management at CACI. George Eritz, Capture Management LMI. Now, there's another title that I've seen people use that is kind of synonymous with Capture Manager. That is Federal Sales. So let's look at that also to see what titles are out there. So there's 8,300 people with the title of Federal Sales. So you got Daryl Bradley here, Director of Federal Sales. And so Pablo is a Federal Sales, Sales Executive, Federal. So there's different people that have the title of Federal Sales out there as well. And so, but these people are capture managers. And let's do government sales. Let's see if there's government sales in here. Oh, there's actually 26,000 in terms of people that heads up government sales. So he's a government sales manager, which is another word for capture manager, government sales manager, government sales director, account manager, government sales. So we see there's 8,500 as capture manager, 12,000 as capture management, 8,200 I think as federal sales, and then 26,000 in terms of government sales. Government sales I think is broader, right? That covers state, local, and federal. So I'm assuming that's why there's 26,000 people with that title there, with that role. Now, one other thing I want to do is I want to look under jobs. How many jobs are out there for companies that's looking for people in government sales? So there's 564 jobs opening right now for people that have that's looking for individuals that have for the title of government sales. So that's quite a few jobs out there. Let's look at federal sales. There's 512 with federal sales. And then let's look at capture manager. In jobs, there's 777 jobs out there with the title capture manager. And let's do one last thing, capture management here. So there, a lot more. So 1,272 jobs for a capture management with that title there, or that in their job description. So with this, would you say there's opportunities for capture managers out there?
Absolutely, absolutely. And capture managers are well-paid people. So it'd be interesting. Can we go to like Glassdoor to see what the average salary of a capture manager is?
Yeah, let's do that. So in fact, since I'm here, I'm gonna just look up like this position here. So sometimes they put the salary right here.
Oh, there it is.
So this job, they're paying $150,000 to $175,000 for this position here. That's not bad, huh?
Not bad. I might need to apply.
Today's show is brought to you by the Certified Capture Manager Program. The Certified Capture Manager, or CCM program, was designed to support entrepreneurs, sales, and business development professionals in the government marketplace. The CCM program will help to develop or enhance your ability to win more government contracts. This is a professional certification program where you will receive hands-on guidance from instructors taking you through the life cycle of the capture management process. Learn what normally takes 36 months in just 12 weeks of the program. What's included in the CCM training program? 12 weeks of instructor-led classes, a business coach to support you review assignments for accuracy and accountability, mastermind sessions, lab sessions, open office hours, the CMBOK or Capture Management Body of Knowledge training material, the GovFastTrack.com software, where is a project management tool to guide you through the process, the GovLMS Learning Management System, which is a self-guided online course with exam questions, the Bootcamp. The Gov Bootcamp is a virtual government contracting bootcamp, test portals, the CMBOK exam, and the CCM professional certification upon passing the exam. Learn more about the Certified Capture Manager or CCM program at capturemanagement.org, www.capturemanagement.org, capturemanagement.org.
Let's stop doing Governese this webcast, and let's just go apply for the job here. You know, I think we just found something for us. Instead of talking about Governese, let's just go be a capture manager. Yeah, this is cool. So let's look at another one, and then we'll go to Glassdoor in a second. I think that's a great suggestion. So let's look at this VP of Capture Management here. Let's see if they put the salary in here. Pay range, salary for not available. Okay, so this one, they didn't put the pay range here. Let's look at Capture Manager here, see if they put a salary in here. 401k, lots of stuff, pay range unavailable. Well, we saw one. Let's see if we find another one. I want to see in here, not available. Let's see here.
I see a lot of the jobs are in the DMV, the DC, Virginia, Maryland area. So they understand government contracting there. So they understand the importance of having that capture manager. You know, seeing a few here, Tennessee and Atlanta, but yes, my guess is that a lot of the positions are based in the DMV.
Yeah, and that's true. If I don't see another salary here, I'll just go to Glassdoor here. Yeah, so this one doesn't give, but we saw one that did give a range, 150 to 175. So let's go to Glassdoor and see what Glassdoor has to say in terms of a salary here. So let me log in. All right, job salaries here. Okay, so I'm gonna put in here Washington, DC. And capture manager. Let's see. Add your view to do, what is it saying?
Add your review or salary to continue. No, we don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that, not right now. Glassdoor is making it cumbersome. So maybe I don't need to log in. How about that? Salaries. Before they didn't have to do all this stuff
Or
here.
let me just Google it and then see where it takes you.
Yep. Well, there's another, salaries.com.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go here.
Maybe salary. Oh, okay. Maybe it's just salary.com.
All right, what am I worth? Job title, capture manager, location is Washington, DC. Here we go.
Phew.
We're here. So on the low end of the spectrum, it's about 100,000. Let me zoom in here. So low end, it's 100,000. The median is 133. On the higher side of it is 178. Now I've seen it as high as 250,000
Mm-hmm.
For capture managers.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think some of the larger defense contractors would be the 2-something.
Yep. So this is good. So this gives us a little perspective. As we're talking about capture manager or capture management, the value of you as a professional, if you are a sales professional and you're not doing sales in the government market, you might want to, explore being a sales in the government market, because capture manager or salesperson in the government market, drastically higher salary.
Mm-hmm.
And because if we were to just put in here sales, the average sales is about 40,000. So 40,000 versus, a much higher role is, as a capture manager is pretty drastic.
And I would think, being a capture manager is a good entrepreneurial journey if you, want to do it as an independent.
Mm-hmm.
I think, your salary is unlimited at that point.
Okay, so that takes us to where we talk about capture management and what it is. And so this is the big picture of the whole process of capture management. The capture management or the government contracting department manages all of these different moving pieces here. So let's dive in a little bit deeper. So the capture manager plans the pursuit, sources out the opportunities, or manage that process. They evaluate the likelihood of success, develops a win strategy, supports the marketing team, engage key teaming partners, foster winning relationships, facilitates the proposal strategy, guides the development of the pricing strategy, close the deal, and turns the win to the fulfillment team to perform on the contract. So I like this definition here because it summarizes like the key things, what a capture manager work handles and so forth. So any other thoughts in terms of a definition of a capture manager?
No, I think that's a good description.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in essence, a capture manager is someone that helps the company win, go out there and win government contracts. That's really it. Everything that's needed to win a government contract. That's a good short summary of it.
Yes. Yes.
So let's break down the capture process in terms of what a capture manager works on. So the capture process, first, the capture manager creates a capture plan. And then they go out there and qualify the opportunity. Now, the capture management team itself is made up of a few different people, but right now we're just focused on the capture process itself.
Right.
So they create a capture plan, they qualify the opportunities, They work and build relationships with teaming partners, large primes, small businesses, subcontractors, and then they outsource to other partners to support the project itself.
Mhm.
They work on relationships with agencies, with contracting officers, small business specialists, the end users, and so forth. And then they understand the agency goals and requirements. What are the needs that the agencies have? What are the pain points? What are the problems? And then they go and develop a solution based upon and they assess the risk. And then they assess the competition around that opportunity there.
Mhm.
And then they finally get to a point where they facilitate the proposal and pricing strategy. And then once the proposal is submitted, then there's the award. And then they help the fulfillment team. The fulfillment team takes over, but they kind of manage that process a little bit, follow through the compliance and follows through all the way through closeout. And then the last thing that a capture manager will do is, now that they want to contract with the agency, they leverage that opportunity or that win there to land new projects.
Mhm.
So that's really the process of a capture manager, from creating a plan to qualify opportunities, building relationships, understanding the pain and the challenges the agency have, developing a solution for them, writing the proposal, pricing strategy, getting awarded the contract, turning over to fulfillment team, and then leveraging that for new opportunities with that agency there. That's a good summary.
Yeah, great capture of the capture process. That's good. That's very good. Good breakdown.
All right, so now let's talk about how once they do this capture process, the next step is working with the proposal team. So the proposal team is made up of, the proposal process itself is made up of the proposal team, a proposal manager, and proposal coordinator.
Mhm.
Sometimes the proposal manager is the proposal coordinator. In a small team, it's, they wear all those hats. But in a big team, like a big company, there's many different people wear different hats. There is a confusion that some people think that a capture manager is a proposal writer. That's not always true.
Right.
Capture manager is more the relationship person, the BD person, whereas the proposal writer, they write the proposal.
Mhm.
Some proposal writers are capture managers, and some capture managers are also proposal writers, but they're usually not always the same person, especially in large teams.
Mhm.
In large companies, they're definitely not the same person. So let's break down the proposal process a little bit. So you get the proposal team, and then the first team is the blue team. And the blue team is made up of a technical volume lead, the cost volume lead, the management volume lead, the past performance volume lead, and then the safety, compliance, quality, security lead, someone that kind of handles some of the compliance stuff. That's the blue team. Now, why do you think it's called the blue team, Crystal? What's your guess?
Why is it called the blue team?
Blue team, red team, green team.
Yeah. I can't remember. I know, but I can't remember. I've been a part of the red and the green teams. I've been a part of the blue team.
So blue team is the team that does the writing, the blue ink.
Oh, that's okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So the blue team is the team that does the writing. They use the blue ink. They write it up. And now we don't use ink. We just use Word docs and so forth, and Google Docs and other things. But the blue team is the team that does the initial draft. Then once they're done, it goes to the red team. And why do you think it's called the red team?
Because you got to stop and take a look at what you have developed on the blue team.
Yep. So
Actually, I've been a part of the blue team.
Yeah. So you've been the blue team. So the red team is the review team, right? The red team is they take the red marker and they say, they look for grammar issues, they look for consistency in terms of the storyline, the capture process, the the vision that the proposal is trying to create, make sure that that story is consistent and the solution is consistent.
Mhm.
Look at the pricing, make sure that so there's the general red team that looks at the general proposal itself. There's the cost red team that looks at the cost and the pricing part of the proposal.
Mhm.
And then there's a team, that sends out to your teaming partner, and they have their own review team also. And then if you have a teaming partner project, they will do their review of the same proposal that you guys are working collectively as well.
Mhm.
So once the red team looks through it, makes all the recommendations and changing, then why do you think it's called the green team?
That means it's good to go.
Yep, it's good to go. So the green team says, okay, they do a final review. So there's the final review team, and then there's the proposal production team. The proposal production team, in some projects, you have to put it into a CD.
Mhm.
Some proposals, you have to put it into a binder and ship it to the agency, especially the state and local proposals. They want it hand delivered. They want a hard copy. So the proposal production team does all of that. They bind it all up, or sometimes they just create the files. Most federal is through email submission or a portal submission. So if it's a portal submission, the proposal production team, that's part of the green team, they will create the different folders and subfolders and put all the files where they need to be. And then the proposal submission team will just submit it to the agency through a portal or through email. In a small company, it's the same person wearing all these hats. So if you're a solopreneur, you're the business owner, you are the blue team. You're the technical lead, you're the cost volume lead, you're the management lead, you're the performance lead, and you're also the compliance, safety, security lead, right? The red team, that's you. The green team, that's you. So, but it's good to know that, as you grow your team, then you can start to bring in different segmentations like this here.
Right.
Now, there's different proposal process, and some people just has a blue team and a red team. They don't necessarily have a green team, but everybody has their own flavor of how proposal management is done. But this gives you a little perspective in terms, at least from our perspective, in terms of the proposal process.
Right.
All right, so now let's go to the last component here. So you got the capture team doing their work, you got the proposal team doing their work, and the capture manager manages all of this here. So just because it's in the proposal process doesn't mean that they disappear.
Right.
They bring the project to the proposal team. The proposal team, they coordinate who's going to be the technical volume lead, and so they manage this process along with the proposal coordinator. So the capture manager facilitates this process with the proposal coordinator, proposal manager itself. Then you also need the fulfillment team. Once you submit a proposal, you need the fulfillment team. And in the fulfillment team, there's two main components to the fulfillment team. You've got the internal team or the program team, and you've got the outsourced support team. So in the internal team, usually it's someone in your company. You have a program manager, a project manager, a contract manager, and other subject matter experts helping fulfill the project itself. It could be where you have an HR person doing recruiting, staffing, so that's part of the SMEs. So the HR recruiter will go out there and bring in different staffing needs for that project itself. Or if it's a product, then you have your procurement officer goes out and buys it from the manufacturer and then coordinates logistics, ships it to the government. So that's part of your internal team. Now, many projects, it's also, you also need external support team. And so in the external support team, you've got your legal counsel. There's a reason we call it government contracting. It's all about contracts itself. You're always going to need legal support on some of this, especially if there is a protest. I was working with a friend of mine, and he said, Abe, he won a project. It's about $5 million, I believe. And the competitor who didn't win, they said, hey, the subcontractor to this company that won is a large company, and it can't be, you know, because it's a small business set aside, they protested it because a large company was part of the fulfillment team. So they filed protests. Obviously, it was frivolous, but it cost him $10,000 to bring an attorney to fight that protest so he can stay on the contract. And he won the protest. But hopefully the other company, you know, to file protest, they also have to hire an attorney. So hopefully they learned their lesson. You can't just file frivolous protests.
Right.
So you need legal counsel. You also need safety and cyber security, you know, especially with CMMC coming into place, the cybersecurity maturity model certification coming into place in these upcoming years. Cyber is becoming more a critical need. Your proposal grant writer is part of your outsourced team, or it could be your internal team. You also need cost estimators, CPAs, accountants, HR, compliance team. You need a financial team, banks, lenders, factoring partners, other people that will help you have access to money so that you can fulfill the project. Because if you bid on $1 million project, you generally will need about $200,000 to start the project going. And if you don't have what we call the mobilization capital, it becomes an issue. And have you ever run into where you or a teaming partner you're working with, Crystal, win a project and you're like, oh, how are we gonna provide funding to get started?
I haven't at this point. I have not encountered that. Hopefully I won't, but it's important again to start building banking relationships, you know, as well as teaming partner relationships long before you actually need them. So that's one thing that I have been intentional about and have done, is to identify sources that I can use so that I can have access to the capital when the larger contracts of this nature, start to roll in.
That's good. And even on the smaller projects that you work on, you still have to cash flow yourself.
Right.
So if it's a small project, you have to pay yourself. You have to pay your subcontractors at least for about 45 days or so until cash flow starts coming in from the invoicing that you send to the government.
Right.
So yeah, very important. So the finance, the banks, lenders, you got to have those things in place. Insurance, general liability, auto insurance, different project requires different type of insurance. E&O insurance, cyber risk insurance, lots of different insurance. So you need a great insurance partner. And then primes and subs. They're a very important part, because part of the capture manager's job is to find small businesses that may open up doors for certain agencies, relationships with companies that already have entrenched in certain specific agencies. So for example, if you have a SDVSB company and you want to break into the CDC doesn't really care about SDVSB certification. From your experience with them, Crystal, what do they care about? Which certifications do they care about?
The 8A certification.
Yeah, they care about the 8A certification.
Yes.
So you have to think about it from the CDC's perspective. CDC needs really highly technical people, because when you talk about epidemiology, typically there's not a lot of small business out there that can do that type of research, because some equipment costs millions of dollars. So CDC doesn't have time to source out all these procurement process, all these different companies. They like the 8A. If they know that someone can do the work, they just sole source the contract to an 8A company or set aside for 8A competitive. That's their contracting vehicle of choice as it relates to small business. So if you're SDVSB, you're trying to break into CDC, you need a small business teaming partner that have an 8A certification. The reverse of that is true also. If you are 8A certified company or a HubZone certified company, and you're trying to break into the VA, what certifications does the VA prefer?
The SDVOSB or the VOSB?
Absolutely. They prefer the SDVOSB or the VOSB. So VA has that preference. In fact, they have a formal approach goal called the Vet First program.
Mhm.
So the Vet First program says that the VA has to make every effort to award a contract to a small business that is SDVSB or VOSB certified first before they go outside of that.
Mhm.
And about 26%, 27% of VA contracts to small businesses are awarded to VOSB, SD, VOSB there.
Mhm.
So finding the right teaming partners and so forth. Now we talked through this capture process here, which includes the capture, proposal, and fulfillment. This is the capture management full process itself. As a capture manager, you got to understand all of this stuff here. It's overwhelming. Now imagine trying to do all this here manually or in your mind. What do you think, Chris? I know you're a project manager. So share with me, correlate with this here from a capture management process to a project management perspective. What are the similarities or the differences here?
Well, you have to have a process and a plan going into it. And as with any plan, you have to be able to adjust them as you move along and you acquire and develop more information. So the process has to be somewhat of an agile one. You got to be able to make, changes quickly. You have to be able to meet. There are a lot of meetings that happen during this capture management process, as well as, when you are managing a project. So yeah, capture manager wears a project management hat to a certain degree. And I mean, yeah, what we're seeing on the screen, it describes the entire capture management process, but you have with anything, the more you do it and the more experience, it's not as overwhelming. But this is just a good capture and visual of all of the components that you will more than likely have to incorporate on larger solicitations. With smaller ones, as in project management, you would tailor this process to meet whatever need that you have. If the project is not as large. But,
absolutely, yeah. So as a project manager, you got to understand process and flow and make sure that the project is successful. As a capture manager, you got to understand the process, the flow, make sure that ultimately the contract is won and fulfilled.
Right.
So lots of moving pieces.
Yes.
Now, if you are a business owner or if you are a sales professional in the government market, or you want to get into the government market as a sales professional, there is a way to kind of learn this whole thing here. And there is a program called the Capture Management, the Certified Capture Manager Program. And if you go to capturemanagement.org, you can come here. They have classes that's enrolling. They start every few months. So the next cohort is starting up. So come here, learn what it takes to be a certified capture manager, and get into one of these different programs here. And so they train you on the tools. It's a 12 weeks program. Train you on the tools, resources, and help you to become a capture manager in the government space. So this is a great program to look into.
Yes.
But what I want to look into is, imagine trying to figure out all of this stuff out on your own. And I think the next thing that is ideal is to really use an automated process. Absolutely. And if I could automate this process, oh man, it would be so amazing, right?
Yes. Yes.
Automate the capture management process. So let's see how we automate this here. So there is a new software that just got developed, and so they're redefining capture management. And this platform is called GovGenie. and it's a community as a service. So what GovGenie is trying to do is they're trying to create a community of professionals, all the different external, internal teams, the proposal writers, government relationships, all of that, and bring that into one ecosystem. And so GovGenie, the definition of or the description of who they say they are is, GovGenie is a social community of small businesses that support one another in winning government contracts. The platform facilitates engagement with using AI, machine learning, to help users to socialize, share content, foster relationships, find bids, search for teaming partners, manage proposals, source industry events, and enable the capture management process itself. So how do they do that? So currently, the way government contracting work is, if you are new in the space, you don't know all these tools. But for people that's in the space, they use different tools to kind of manage the capture management process. So obviously, you start off by looking for a bid sourcing avenue. So some people go to sam.gov to look for bids. And some people use tools like GovWin or GovDirections or many, many other different bid sourcing platforms out there. That's one tool. And then they also use a proposal management tool like Octane or Privia. And then they use a deal pipeline like Pipedrive and Monday.com or Sparksheet or other tools like that. And then they use a team collaboration tool called One Team or Slack. Just different people use different tools. And these are just examples of tools for these different use cases here. And then they need to create leads, right? So they use Dun & Bradstreet, or they use LexisNexis, or they use other lead database out there. Then they need a CRM. So they use HubSpot or Salesforce. Then they need a social community. And so they use LinkedIn groups, they use Facebook groups related to government contracting. And then they need a communications tool. So they use Gmail or Outlook or some other email clients solutions out there. And then they need to network and go to events and source different tools out there or different events to attend. So they use Gov events, so they use Meetup or different meetings from Facebook or other different places that publish events itself. So you got to use all these different tools here.
That's a lot.
GovWin is pretty expensive. It's a few $1,000s a month to use GovWin. At least the full version is very expensive for small businesses. SAM is free. So bid sourcing, you can kind of get away at no cost if you're using sam.gov. Octane and Privia, there's costs. Monday, there's per user cost. Slack, there's per user cost. LexisNexis, usually there's a one-time fee, or Dun & Bradstreet one-time fee to get a list of small businesses in certain locations, or large primes with so much revenue in certain locations. So there's a cost, a one-time cost. HubSpot, more affordable. Salesforce, a little bit more expensive. But some of these are really complex to use. LinkedIn and Facebook, there's no cost, but if you're going to use these tools here, there's so much other different communities in there that you can kind of get lost.
Right.
And then Gmail, Outlook, it is what it is. And then Gov events, great resource for government-centric events, Meetup, and so forth. But to manage all of these software, wouldn't it be awesome just to have one software that manages all of that?
Absolutely, because as these are listed, that means, you're having to go into all of these different systems. Just imagine having to remember passwords for all of those.
Yeah, don't use the same password for all of these here, right? Yeah, but there is a solution. And GovGenie is the solution.
Yes.
So GovGenie allows social networking, social community, allows bid sourcing, bid matching. It allows a smart CRM and teaming. It allows you to manage your different teams and share and communicate with each other. It allows you to manage your proposal, and then allows you to kind of manage the capture management lifecycle all on one tool here. That's pretty powerful. I mean, I wish, I would have thought of this here sooner, huh?
I know, right? I needed this 8 years ago.
So GovGenie, very powerful tool. They are looking for beta users right now. So it's in early stage right now. So as a guest of the Governese Webcast here, you can sign up to be an early beta user. It's free access to the first 100 beta users. Just go direct to govgenie.com and just sign up and put in, there's no cost to it. Go ahead and get onboarded as an early beta user. So get onto govgenie.com and start playing around with it. I'm going to show everybody quickly how it works on the inside. So let's do that there.
Okay, but hurry up and sign up because there are 100 seats. So don't wait around.
All right, I agree with you. So I'm going to go to govgenie.com, Govgenie. So if you go to govgenie.com, you come in. This is the home page. So go ahead and hit sign in or join. For those of you who's not on it yet, just hit join. I'm going to go ahead and bypass the join because I'm already in as one of the users. So I'm going to come in. So full disclosure, Crystal and myself, we're part of the GovGenie team. So just in full disclosure, we're actually part of the GovGenie team. So GovGenie, you come in, this is your homepage. This is the social community side of it. And it's still early, so there's different things that needs to happen to here. So there's the social community side of it. You can come in here and there's communities that's being, eventually these communities, right now they just, GovGenie just launched the groups, or in here we call it communities, and so start to test out some of these features. But it's in beta, so lots of things gonna need some fine tuning as things get going. And so as early beta users on here, feel free to give feedback to the GovGenie team so that they can kind of evolve and make the tool better. But the first thing is someone comes in here, they go to the menu up here and they click on opportunities. And when they do that, it takes you to the opportunities. And so you come in here and let's assume that you put in your NAICS code. So I'm going to look for janitorial. So 561720, that's janitorial. And I check this little box here. Now hit apply. All right, so now it just, there's a total of 653 projects in here that has the word janitor, or that's under this NAICS code here, 561720. And I'm gonna look at here, ooh, there's one here. Let's assume I'm interested in this custodial service in Manhattan, Kansas. So I'm gonna click on this here. I'm gonna skim through it quickly, it's due on the 18th, so I've got about maybe 2.5 weeks. So it's set aside for service disabled veteran, assuming that my business is an SDVSB. I want to bid on this here. So it's a 1 year plus 4 option years, and then plus another 6 months extension while they're sourcing out new companies.
Right.
So I like this project, and then I'm going to click add to bid board here. And I'm going to come in here, and then here at the very bottom, I'm going to click add. So this is the Department of Defense KO Directorate in Kansas. So this is Custodial Services KSO19. So now I'm going to close this, and I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go to my bid board on the top middle here. And so this project, I just added it to my bid board here. So I'm going to move it to the top here. So this is the project I just added. We found it. And if I'm interested, then I'm going to go ahead and drag this here to scoping, because I'm going to scope out a teaming partner so that, I'm based in Atlanta, Georgia. I want a teaming partner that's in Kansas. Now in here, there's actually, I can do a bid decision matrix if I want to. So let me kind of quickly show that. So I'm gonna move it back over here. If you want to do the bid decision matrix, you check that. And then when you move it to scoping, it will pull up this bid decision matrix here. So for some of the newer businesses, for seasoned company, they know how to do this here in their mind already. Right. But for newer businesses, you want to go through this process. So the first question is, can we meet the proposal due date? So yes, we got 2.5 weeks. Next question is, do we have the required past performance? Yes, but not very strong. We got, maybe 2 good one. We're probably gonna need 1 from our teaming partner, so that's a 6.
Mhm.
Are we known by the client? Nope, we have no idea, so it's a 2. The agency does not know who we are. We just found the opportunity. What is our overall technical capability or position? Okay, that's assuming that we're very capable, so that's a 7. Can we provide proof of qualified staff? Absolutely, we got great team doing that, so that's a 9. Are subcontractors needed? Yes, we need 1, especially out of Kansas if possible. So I'm gonna say the teaming partner will enhance our overall proposal. So that's a 7.5. What is the financial potential? Since we're based in Georgia and the project is in Kansas, it's a 6, good short term, actually long term. Yeah, so it's, it's a 5-year contract. So let's assume it's 7, even though there's some travel costs for us. Can we respond with a complete compelling proposal? Man, we got an awesome proposal writer. So that's an 8. Who are our competitors? We have no idea. So that's a 2. What is our pricing competitiveness? We could be very competitive, but because of travel, usually if it's local, less, but because of travel, we're at a 5.
Mhm.
So now it gives us a total overall score here. And it says, we score 57.9 moderate chance of success. Generally, if it's under 50%, maybe not consider pursuing. But, in this situation, you got to start somewhere. So we're going to hit submit, and it's going to capture that data into a project. So now if I click on this here, over here, now it captures my percentage here, 57.9. So what I just did was I captured that so that when other people review this here, they say, okay, we're at 57, and you can start tracking that.
Mhm.
I'm going to say, okay, potential value, I'm going to put in here, let's assume it is a $8 million project, 5 years, over 5 years. So I'm going to put 8 million here. Now coming here, now it's saying, okay, I'm tracking, scoping right now, $8 million worth of opportunities for this project here. Then I need to find a teaming partner that's out of Kansas. So I come to menu, go to directory. Directories are other government contractors out there. And I want to see if there's anybody in Kansas. And I want to find janitor company in Kansas. Now, some of the tools are not working 100% right now. Like I can't do it by location. So let's see if it works. But last time I tried it, it wasn't doing by location. So that's part of being a beta user, right?
Right.
Not everything works. Not yet, at least. Okay, so this time it did. So Kansas, so there is RK Janitorial, and there is the other one is Steinlich. So I'm gonna click on, so I'm gonna look at this RK here. So I'm gonna click on RK Janitorial. I'm gonna do a quick review. They've been around since 2004. Assuming I'm interested and assuming that they are SDVOSB. So for demonstration purposes, assuming they are that, I'm gonna add them to my CRM. And I'm gonna add here. So now this company, RK Janitor, is my CRM. Now at the top middle, I click on CRM. RK Janitorial, Richard Swingo. He's part of I just captured his data into my CRM, his email, phone number here. So I can start engaging this person. So I'll come back to my CRM. I can start prospecting, right? And engaging this person here. And I can actually come in here and create task and engage this person. Like for example, I can say, make phone call, and I can set a date in here for on Friday that I'm going to Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. It will be, I guess they're in Central Time, so it'll be about 12 noon their time. So let's do 2. So after lunch for him. So let's do 2 o'clock. And call to discuss so call to discuss janitorial project in Kansas. And I can set a reminder on Friday at, my call's at 2, so at 9 a.m. So that at 1:45 is going to send me a reminder. I'm going to save this here. Oh, I need to assign it to myself. So I just created a task. It's going to remind me in terms of Friday at 1:45 that I have a phone call to make at 2 p.m. And I can look at the history of what's happened with this project, with this point of contact, all the different activity that's going on here. So now, assuming that this person is a great company, and I move it from prospecting to now we have a meeting. So I'm going to move to a meeting. We just had a meeting. The meeting went well, nurturing that relationships. And ultimately, I want to win this relationship to become a teaming partner. So when the relationship becomes a teaming partner, I will drag it to 1.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but right now I'm nurturing this relationship. So I just showed you how to find opportunities, how to use a bid management, your bid board, how to find a teaming partner on here. Now, assuming that I do have a teaming partner, and in this project here, I want to add a team. So I go to the teaming portal here, click on menu, go to teaming portal, and I come and create a new team. And I create a new team, and in this situation, I can call it GCA and RK Janitorial, right? I can create this team here. For Kansas project. And then I can select the company. And then once I do that, I hit create. And so once I create it, it's going to be a team down here. So now that I created a team, I can come back to my bid board, go to the project. And then down here at the bottom down here, it says team here. I can come in here where it says none. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to add a team to this opportunity here. And so in this situation, it's not RK, but because I've got Crystal we're practicing here, I'm put Crystal as a teaming partner. But it should be RK and that company we just team up with. Mm-hmm. And now since I added this teaming partner here, on their bid board, they can see this project. I can see it, they can see it. They can't see all my other projects because they're not teaming partners on those other projects. They can only see the projects that we're teaming on. So that allows you to have a level of control. So you can have 20 different projects and you have 2-3 different teaming partners on some of the projects. They can't see everything that you're working on with other teaming partners. They only see the one that you're actually working with them on. So this is a quick overview of how to use GovGenie. Very, very powerful tool. It automates a lot of the manual process, because usually you have to go to sam.gov, find an opportunity, and then come in here and copy the email, copy the phone number, copy the project description, put it into an Excel sheet or put it into some type of project management tool. Very cumbersome. All of it is done on one platform here. So any other comments you have about this here, Crystal?
Yeah, I like this tool. And one other point to the teaming portion of this is that, you can start building those relationships with teaming partners before you've actually identified a contract. So if you are looking to do work in Kansas at a particular federal location, in the future, you can start building relationships with contractors in that area before anything actually drops, so that when you do have opportunities, you've already started the nurturing stage of this whole process. So yes, look, start to use this to identify teaming partners in locations and in industries that you want to do work with in the future. Always, try to build those relationships early and before you actually need them.
Absolutely. Great thoughts there. Last thing I want to share in terms of the platform here is, now that you have a teaming partner, now you need to start writing your proposal and prepare to submit it. So we're in here, under this opportunity, what's the proposal document, there's a little plus sign here. So I can come in here, I can put my pricing proposal and put the link in here. So I go to my pricing proposal. So assuming that this is the pricing proposal, I'm going to be working with my teaming partner. I take this link, I come back to GovGenie and I paste it here, and I insert this here. So now my pricing proposal is in here. So my teaming partner can click on this link and manage the pricing documents that we're working together on. Now, some companies, they don't want to share the pricing, but for me, I always operate from a transparent perspective, right? If you're working with a teaming partner, they know that you're going to treat them fair. If you're the prime and it's full disclosure, hey, this is how we're pricing this. This is what we intend to make. This is what you're going to make. Everybody's happy. And that's usually the better approach to teaming. Some companies want to keep it a secret, and that's fine too. There's no right or wrong. It's just preferences.
Right.
But if you're working on a collective pricing proposal, you will use it here. Now, internally, if you don't have a teaming partner, you do the same, right? That your team can kind of work on the pricing. A cost team can kind of work on it together like this. And then I also want to add my technical proposal. So I click on this here, and then I want to come in here. And this is my technical proposal here. Usually I recommend using Google Doc so that everybody can kind of come in here and type in it at the same time.
Right.
So I put the link in here. So it's a Google Doc. So now our proposal team, the blue team, can come in here, do the technical writing all in one document. The pricing team can come and work on the pricing. And then you can do the same thing, right? You can put in here, you can do the management team, you can add the resume, the quality assurance, anything else in other. If you're working on something else, you put other, type that in and put the link in. You can put a Dropbox link. You can put a SharePoint link so that people can kind of get to the document easily. So that's part of how you manage your proposal process all on one tool. And then there's a history of what's happened with this project here. So it kind of tells you, okay, we found it, moved it to scoping, we move it to, we scored it, we put our price estimate in here, we add a team, and then we, added the pricing, the proposal, all these different things to it. And once that's done, then we can just start managing it and kind of move it through the procurement process in terms of scoping to now we're drafting, we're writing the proposal. And then ultimately submitting the proposal, submit it, and then winning the project itself. So we leave it in the submitted until we get notification that we won or did not win. And if we won, we move it to win. If we did not win, we move it to lost. And then we put the reason why we didn't win on it. Sometimes you're looking at a project, but you didn't bid on it. So you move it to the did not bid portion. And there's different views too. You can kind of view it from a list view perspective, all the project in one view, or you can list it in a tabular view, which breaks down the different swim lanes or the different columns. So there's 4 projects that we're evaluating right now. There's 2 projects that's in the drafting stage. If I click on this here, I see the 2 projects that we're working on.
I like that the potential value of it shows, so you can always have insight into the dollar amount of your pipeline.
Yes, so it shows you a summary here that, okay, our drafting, we're working on about $6 million worth of projects right now. Proposals, we've got 1 project and, estimated at $8 million right here. All right. Well, hey, I think that's been a great overview of our word for the day, capture manager and capture management. I just want to do a quick recap. A capture manager is someone who is the business development person or the salesperson for that company. And usually if it's a small business, it's the owner. In a large company, they're a federal sales director, government salesperson, or a capture manager, which is the more appropriate title. And the capture managers kind of handle the whole procurement life cycle from beginning all the way to fulfillment. Even though they don't necessarily do the fulfillment, they manage the process, making sure that it's actually successful. And the reason for that is because they got to leverage that win, that project, to other new opportunities, using that as a reason to build a relation with the contracting officers, the core, the program manager, the directors there, so that they can win other new projects. So as a capture manager, we looked at a few different tools. Governese as a tool to help you manage the capture process itself. And if you need to learn how to be a capture manager, and then we talked about the Certified Capture Manager program at capturemanagement.org. So with that said, any closing thoughts before we wrap up today's Governese session here?
This, the capture management piece is a very important part of government contracting. So, if you are building a business, just keep in mind that you're trying to scale or grow a business, that you will eventually need to have a capture manager or capture management team to help in that success. And if you're looking for a career in capture management, there are resources, training, and tools to help get you there. And it's definitely a very lucrative career from what we've seen. So it's a good way to go.
All right. So if I don't see Crystal here in our next episode of Governese, she might have taken one of those jobs, those high-paying capture management jobs. So. All right. Well, hey, Crystal, it was a pleasure. Thanks for being a great co-host on another episode of Governese. And until next time, I will see everybody then.
Bye.
Take care, everybody. Our second sponsor is Governese. Governese, stop wishing, start winning. Governese is on a mission to democratize government contracting opportunities for small women and minority-owned businesses. Their objective is to change the disparities for small businesses in the $2 trillion government marketplace. Governese is like LinkedIn for government contractors. It is a social CRM unifying the fragmented government procurement lifecycle and uses AI and ML to help users to socialize, foster relationships, find bids, search for teaming partners, manage proposals, source industry events, and facilitate the capture management process. This saves you, the user, money and time with one streamlined platform versus many other disparate software out there. Learn more about Governese at govgenese.com. GOVGENIE.com.